Hey everybody, it's Guinevere. Sorry I went missing for the last 2 days, but life has been throwing lots of energy my way and that's kept me really busy. But we're resuming our animal spirit per day so that as we move through, you can expand, learn, apply, and whatever else that you need to be doing as we move through. So I'm actually going to cover a couple of points that I don't normally cover, and it's basically based on the fact that I am doing an animal spirit per day. And not all of you are always going to see the animal spirit on the day that I'm doing it. So let's say today is Thursday, and today's animal spirit, I'm going to show you which animal we have present with us. We have Ribbit. Hey boo, we got the frog bouncing through our lives. We have leaping lizards. No, I'm kidding. Leaping frogs. So we have frog today, okay? But I'm going to cover a couple things. First, synchronicity. Synchronicity is a really divine process, and learning how to surrender and fall in love with synchronicity is kind of its own thing. And so what I want to encourage you guys to do, if you're following me, if you've been catching oracles, if you've been catching the animal spirit energy, is the day or the moment you see it, even if it's not on the same day. So let's say the phoenix or the hummingbird was last week and you saw it sometime this week. I want you to start applying synchronicity to yourself. I want you to start seeing how you're connected with divine timing. We don't get to control divine timing. It's something above and beyond our grasp. And it's something that gifts us with the opportunities to grow in new and interesting directions based on our own individual paths. We have a lot of energies where we intersect. And there's a lot of energies where sometimes we go kind of a little bit on our own path. Some of us are slow, kind of like slow bloomers. Some of us are fiery and everything happens quickly and just rushes into our lives and starts creating shifts and changes. And some of you will notice you're coordinated perfectly. You catch me exactly at the moment I go live, and you're coordinated perfectly with that moment, and that's your divine timing synchronizing with my divine timing. And that kind of creates a sisterhood, brotherhood, unification that's energetic. And I want you all to learn how to trust that a lot more, not only if you're catching these, but also in your life. If you have a dream about a friend and they call the next day, I want you really to see the preciousness of how we all interact and how it connects us all. So, because today's frog, I wore my Kermie shirt. So got Kermie the frog. You got Kermie. That's right. I pulled my shirt right over my face because I don't care. Because I do what I want. So yeah, I'm wearing my Kermit frog, and I wonder if it says something on there. It says something about green. I'm hip to green. And then I got this shirt the same year that I dyed my hair green, because I was trying to continue to widen people's awareness and sphere of being hip to the green of recycling and taking better care of the land and the water. And I thought having Kermie as my best buddy and friend on my t-shirt was a really great way. And when people would stop me in the grocery store and go, green hair, why green? And I would say, well, because I'm going green until the world is greened up again. So I think I'm probably going to die with green hair at this rate. And I'm hoping that we catch up and start cleaning up and planting trees and doing our due diligence to love up the trees, the plants, the weeds, And by the way, weeds are herbs. I love the fact that people are always pulling weeds, and what they're doing is they're pulling healing herbs out of their gardens. Stop pulling the healing herbs out of your gardens. If you guys were to do research and start looking up different wild plants growing in your garden, you would probably find that you have things that would help with breathing, and things would help with rashes, and things would help with burns. And here's a little something that's just kind of like off topic, is usually growing right next to a plant that will poison you is its complement. So for instance, usually growing next to poison ivy is something called jewelweed. And jewelweed, if you crush the leaves and you put it on the poison ivy or poison oak, then it actually cures or heals that rash that's on you. So I always find it interesting that nature sets us up for success if we know enough about the fact that the the curse and the blessing are living side by side, having lovely discussion. Hello, I'm Poison Ivy. I'm going to make people itchy. Hi, I'm Jewelweed. I'm going to make people not itchy. So just look side by side and see who you got living side by side. So that's enough about divine timing and synchronicity. Just find a way of trusting that process. And let's go back to our animal spirit of the day is frog. So frog is a very beautiful energy, and the animal spirit frog is about healing. So don't be shocked or surprised that I started talking about healing. Frog is a healing energy. Frog is a very profound energy. And I don't know how many of you remember this or can recall this, but they say that if we poison the planet where frogs can exist, that's the sign that none of us can exist. That would be like a human extinction level event. Now, I don't believe it's just frogs. I think frogs and honeybees and pollinators are all in the same kind of cachet. If we get rid of those, we'd have to take their places. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, obviously. I'm saying let's make that not happen. Let's love up our frogs and our pollinators and love up our backyards and find really great ways to heal ourselves and heal the world around us. So frog is a cleansing, healing energy. And I'm going to take you through steps about frog. Now, I'm sure a lot of you know these things, but I always talk actual true facts about animals that helps you understand how that energy is influencing us. Well, when a frog lays its eggs, it lays its eggs either in this like kind of foamy package in the water, or sometimes it has the eggs in its own skin, or it will do a package inside of a plant. But when the eggs hatch, of course, it's not just a frog, it's a tadpole. And so they hatch underwater. They live their life entirely dependent underwater as they're growing their arms and their legs. And when I was a little girl, I used to go up the mountain. At the very, very top of the mountain where I lived, there was a place called Pollywog Pond. If you wonder why I keep doing this, is because the frog, there's a fly circling my there's a fly circling in my head. Apparently the frog spirit has landed and says, I will feed you and you will be well fed. And I'm like, okay, frog spirit, I'm not really a fly eater, but thank you for giving me food circling my head. Should I decide I wanted to eat a fly, there's a fly here. So I would go up to the top of this hill to this pond that we called Pollywog Pond. And we would go up with buckets and we would just scoop up buckets of the pollywogs, and then we would take them home. And inside of the bucket would be plenty of raw plant material and oxygen that would allow them to continue to eat and thrive. We didn't have pollywog deaths. But what we did have, when we'd forget to take the little pollywogs as they were growing their arms and their legs back up to the pond to re-release them, is we had frogs loose in the house more than once. My poor mother, oh, I feel for my poor mother. Because, you know, we would forget, and we wake up in the morning and little tiny frogs would be stuck to the they'd be like this big. They'd be stuck to the walls looking at us. Ribbit! Like, oh no! Mom's gonna kill us. We have frogs loose in the house. Now, the really cool thing about bringing the pollywogs to my house so frequently and having them escape, or, you know, we're kids, right? So they'd escape and they get loose in the house, and we'd have to catch all the little baby frogs and release them into the yard. Is for the entire time I grew up on that property, we always heard them singing. And there was just enough, again, swamp water or water in general on our property that the little frogs would thrive, and they would have their little pollywogs and little ponds all over our property. And our neighbor was so upset with us because she had a goldfish pond that got overrun by the frog babies. So frog is prolific. So frog is about being, you know, going through a cyclic energy. First off, like I said, the reason I was giving you the facts about the fact that they start in the little packages, little egg packages, and then the pollywog. So go through this whole, I'm just about water, I'm basically a fish, before they shift to amphibian and start shifting from water to earth, where they making the lovin' and they go hunting for food and they get all the rest of the frog generations going. Well, it's a reminder that as we go through healing transformation, and as we go through cleansing out the things that once caused us to be kind of muddy or clogged up or swampy in our souls, that we go through stages where first we have to approach how delicate we can be within ourselves, within our sensitivity, because frog is incredibly sensitive, okay? Then we have to go through the aquatic phase. And the aquatic phase is when we dive deep into our emotions. This is when I usually recommend people get in touch with water, whether it's a really lovely healing bath with rose petals in the water and some lavender, or whether it's taking a shower where you're singing in the shower, or whether it's dancing in the rain or playing in the rivers or singing in the oceans. The frog sings the rains into resource. The frogs sing the rains because they need it to survive. And you go to a rainforest and you've got frogs delighting in every single direction. And that's really, really beautiful. But it's cyclic, emotional before they go into the jumping phase. The jumping phase is the concept of going for what you want. Sometimes if you listen to your intuition and you've done your clearing and cleansing process, you can leap forward to the next step. You don't have to do the step by step by step because you did that through your emotional and your cleansing process. But when you're ready to leap into the world, you're supposed to, go for or into it to your next destination. They don't walk, they hop. They leapfrog to their next destination. And that has a lot to do with intuition. Now, obviously, we all know the old saying, look before you leap, and that is still true, but you want to look with your heart because frog is the psychic world, the spiritual world, the water worlds. And that's all about heart and spirit. Now, the other thing I want to mention about frog is frog and toad have a very strong connection, obviously. And when you think about, for instance, toads in the rainforest, we got toads that if you lick the toad, and it's like, then you're going to go tripping. You're going to trip some froggy, toady balls. Woo, tripping balls, okay? And the symbolism of that is the fact that the frog or the toad are gateways to other dimensions. They're star beings to other dimensions. So the water realms are, kind of think about it this way, the ocean of stars, right? And then, of course, the water element on the ground. So we've got singing, we got cleansing, we got healing, we've got intuitive, huge leaps forward where we just evolve together, right? Mass evolution, boom, suddenly everybody gets it at the same time. And of course, it's a very loving, very beautiful energy. Frog brings a lot of kindness to our hearts. And if you're feeling sad, allow yourself to cry. But if you are feeling sad and you need to use the tears for cleansing and you want to cry, instead of stand in the rain or sing in the rain, you actually need to cry in your own human rain. You got to release your own water. Then I'm going to ask you to listen to music. You want to listen to music that will soothe you. You want to listen to music that's harmonious. You don't want to listen to aggressive music. You want to listen to music that makes you feel like you are in a water element. I'm going to actually name an artist. I think a really great frog artist is Enya. Because if you listen to most of Enya's music, it will flow you. So you want to stay in a flowing energy. Now, she's just one example. I'm sure there's hundreds of examples of great flute music and great Enya-like music where you can shift and move through these things. So we're back to frog. Give your froggy friend a chance. Listen to your intuition, cleanse and clear. And this is also a good time to check in on your diet. Are you eating too much salt, right? Is it too salty? Are you doing too many sweets? Have you gone too far in one direction, not far enough another? It's a good time to balance. This is a perfect time to find that balance to help the growth in the process. So Froggy Frog is a very sweet one and pretty direct. And I've got a couple of you with me. And so I'm going to take a specified question. Specified questions means that I'm going to ask you guys something specific. Don't say me. Nobody say me. You're all waiting for a moment. The first person who wants to know the best way that they personally can heal an issue, say me. Okay? And I'll wait. I'll be patient. First person who wants to heal an issue, say me, and I will take a look at it for you, okay? While I'm waiting for you guys, if anybody says me, I'm going to stretch my neck because my neck has been hurting. I don't see any me's, so I'm going to give it... Oh, okay, Linda, you are the me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Osho Zen, okay? That's how I'm going to read. I'm going to read you from the Osho Zen. And we're going to see what you need to clear, cleanse, and heal within yourself so you can take the next steps in your own personal life, okay? So go ahead and beam some of your beautiful light my way. I am officially mixing for you and tuning into your energy. And thank you for being my first me. It's been a while. And I will get there momentarily. Okay, this is nice. I'm starting to feel the heart link. Like I've got your heart in my heart, which is great. It's like think of it as a heart embrace. My heart is holding your heart, Linda. Nice. Okay, we got it. Oh, sweet. Okay, so you don't have to do any spiritual cleansing right now. So I'm just going to tell you what to emphasize in spirit. You also don't have to do any physical cleansing right now. So, you know, you're actually really clear so far. It's mental cleansing. You need to do mental cleansing. The mental cleansing is the only issue you've got. So I'm really happy to say that it's only in the mind. And even though our minds can sometimes not be our best ally, they can set us up for disaster or send us in the wrong direction. I'm glad to tell you that your other systems are working clean. So I'm going to talk to you about each of your systems. First off, spiritually right now, you are really supposed to be indulging your dreams. Okay, you're supposed to be thinking about the things that you'd like to do. You and I discussed just recently a dream, so I want you to start really thinking about that as a reality and what it might take to manifest it and the different ways in which the two of us can work, because your dream and my dream are very compatible. And so go ahead and feel into that and make it a reality within. The more real it becomes within, the more possible it becomes in the world. In your physical right now, getting out there is your strength. You want to be exposing yourself more and letting people know what your ideas and plans are. And you have been doing that. So you're like doing really well. And if you want to shift anything in diet, since there's nothing hurting specifically in the physical, then I would simplify it. I would just go to, I like to call them the base foods, and do what everybody already knows that we need more of. For instance, we all need a lot of dark greens in our diet, and we all need a lot of good healthy fiber in our diet, and we all need a lot of water, good clean water in our diet. So, you know, focus on those, focus on making sure that you're bulking out in those areas just to make you feel more present in your energy. And that's your advice in the physical realm, because you're, like I said, you're not gummed up. So it's not really about being gummed up. It's just about, if you want to focus on diet, focus on simplified, okay? With the world, you're supposed to see everything as a possibility and everything as an open arrangement, so that's all good. So let's go into the head. You create ahead of time possible roadblocks. So that's, I like to call it pre-planning. I love the fact that you're eating kale. Sorry, Melanie said she's eating kale right now. I thought that was fantastic. You pre-plan possible hiccups in your head because you will suppress creative thoughts thinking of all the different things that have to happen. Instead, unsuppress your thoughts. Think about just what a new life would feel like. You want to go into the dreaming of what a new life would feel like, experience it. I want you to meditate on it. And whenever the small voice comes to the forefront, okay, and says things like, well, you don't have the money to achieve that, or you don't know how to achieve that, you want to quiet the small voice down. It's not time for the small voice, right? You don't want any thought that will suppress your forward movement. You don't want any thought that's going to bind your imagination. What you want to do is, when you're done dreaming and kind of settling things out, is you want to sit down and you want to make a list of what kinds of influences or objects or experiences you need to line up in time. You don't have to make it a burden for yourself. Right now, burdening your mind stops you from starting new things, so don't do it. And then, of course, rely on your friends, you know, ask your friends to tell you inspiring things. And I'm going to tell you to do something today, okay? I want you to do a Facebook post where you write, hey everybody, if you could tell me one thing I've done that inspired you, please write it below. And if you can tell me one thing that will inspire me about what I've shown you, then please write it below. So just make it an inspiration post. Say, hey, how have I inspired you? And how can you inspire me? And let it be an inspiration thing, because right now that's where all your thoughts and feelings are supposed to be. But thankfully, you don't actually have anything gumming up the systems, and even the average Joe on the street usually gets gummed up in their head when they create all the ideas and excuses of why something will take too long or take forever or shouldn't even start in the first place. And that's how nothing gets done. Did you just say no? You don't have to do anything I tell you to do. You're a free woman. You have your own power, your own resources, and I love you regardless of anything you can do. So enjoy your day, you guys. Enjoy playing with the frog medicine. Make sure to have some sort of ceremony around water today. That's the last word I'm going to say on it. Just have a ceremony around water, even if it's a glass of water, and you hold it in your hands up against your heart, and you thank it for the fact that it's helping you clear toxins out of your body and help you clear toxins out of your spirit and all that kind of stuff. Cleanse, respect yourselves, love yourselves up, and I love you guys. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.